Hello there, another great story from Garftaylor. Garftaylor, sitting in his nice armchair, relaxing, in coming up to the end of May, beginning of June, 2024. Another great story. 1986, we're going to go back to. Now that's 38 years ago. Wow, that's a long time ago. Anyway, 1986, there was a boy called Joe, right? His name was Joe, and he was 12 at the time, 12 years old at the time, and Joe, he lived with his mum and his one brother, and then his mum was pregnant with his third brother, so there was going to be a third brother on the way. So Joe lived with his younger brother, and he had a baby brother on the way. So in 1986, Joe stopped going to school. So Joe decided he wasn't going to go to school no more. So schoolman come round, and they tried to get him back to school, but Joe wouldn't listen. So eventually, he got put into a home called Foxlands Crescent. It was a children's home way back in 1986. I know, 38 years ago. So Joe was in there for over 2 years. Yes, he spent 2 years in the home, and then eventually he did come out. He had some good times in there, some bad times in there, like you do. He went to school. He had bad times at school, good times at school, mostly bad times at school. Being in children's home for Joe weren't too bad. He sort of enjoyed it, and he didn't enjoy it. When he first went in there, they put him in there with a 25-year-old dude, 12 years older than him, 13 years older than him, which I thought was wrong at the time, but, children's home was children's home. The bloke seemed alright, I suppose. I'd share a room with him for a little while, and then I think I ended up on my own after that. So I had a room. The staff members were really nice in there. They weren't horrible or nasty, no. At some point, they used to let me go in the garden and fix bikes, strip bikes down and paint them and spray them and fix them all up and make them look really nice and new and good and stuff, like you do, and make them look really fantastic. So 1986, Joe's in a home. He's fixing bikes. He had plenty of girlfriends at school and in the children's home, so he was all right there. He was a stunt boy. Yeah, he could take his bike out, old Joe, BMX. He had a BMX. He loved his BMX. At the time, I think he was about 5'6". At the time, 5'6". So he'd go out on his BMX. He'd do all his stunts and all that. Oh yeah, he loved them. He used to go down the road. Oh, I've got a blow my nostrils. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, I've got a blow my nostrils. So yeah, he'd go down the road, and if he saw some young girls at bus stop, he'd do a wheelie or something. He could do the longest wheelie all the way down the road without dropping once. Yeah, he could do that. He was quite clever, old Joe, on the old BMX. He used to fix them. And then at one point he ended up having his own push bike business. He's had grown up to come into his mum's place, because it was his mum's 3-bedroom council flat, and she used to go there, and people used to knock on his door and say, "Joe, can you come and fix me bike? Can you do this? Can you do that?" So Joe would fix the bikes, and then we had trouble with kids. They ended up smashing all the windows, so we had to have counselling, and they boarded up all the windows, so we was living in light. We had the light on 24/7. So imagine that cost my mum a fortune. So we had to have all the windows boarded up and stuff, stop the kids from breaking in. So, they used to try and break in, but they couldn't, no. Because before we had the windows boarded up, they threw something through the window just as my mum got out of the bath after my little baby brother was born, and just about missed them. So they were lucky. So these kids would trash the house. I had a younger brother who stand up in the window, sticking his fingers up, do all that crap. and all that bollocks, like he did, and upset everybody. And then that's probably how we got all our windows broke, and then we had to have them all boarded up. Yeah. You know, it was a nightmare. We'd go out sometimes, and then one day they got us and they hurt us and that, and then we managed to escape and get back home. 1986 was a total nightmare, absolute total nightmare. You know, and yeah, living in Dagenham East was one of the worst places in East End of London to ever live. Dagenham East, it was absolutely bad, really bad. So it was just a total nightmare, honestly. So anyway, we lived there in 1986. I was a stunt boy, used to fix bikes. I had a baby brother, 1986. Joe had a baby brother, 1986. And Joe lived an ordinary life. He'd get bullied at school, he'd get beaten up down the road. His mum gave him some money to go and get something for his baby brother one day. His kids beat him up, took the money, he went back home. His mother said, "Where's the money?" He told her, mother didn't believe him. So it was a total nightmare, all this crap. 1986, January to December, was a total, utter nightmare. He was in a home right from 1986 to 1987. And then 1987, he was taken out of the home at the age of 13, coming up to 14 that year. So Joe ended up going back to his mum. Eventually the schoolman stopped him from going to school, so he didn't have to go to school. His mum went to court, she got a fine, she had to pay the fine. And then obviously after that, Joe went back to live with his mum, stayed with his mum for a while. 1986 to 1987, from Ibscott Close to Foxton's Crescent, back to Ibscott Close again, and yeah, right through to 1987, and it turned out really well after I left school, because I didn't have problems anymore. I wasn't angry. I wasn't a mad person. I just wanted to get on with my life. Wanted to be left alone. So yeah, 1986 was the worst year of my life, but we all managed to get through it and try and live the best we can. And you know, like you do, kids were kids, and they would cause trouble. They would pick on you, and they would do everything they can. So that was it. Not much you could do about it. So everything was a total nightmare. Utter total nightmare. So everything was just bad. So that's it. We all had to get on with things and do what we got to do. 1986, what a year, January to December. I think it was right up to about May, June. We could have been there for about 16, 18 months in that flat until 1987. Mum moved again, but I think Mum was in that flat for a good 18, 20 months or so. She was there for a while. So the council would move her somewhere else, and then they did. So and then she moved. Oh, sugar, all that. So yeah, 1986, 20 odd months of hell in a home. I think I was in the home in 1985, 86, through to 87. So it worked out about 2 years. So it weren't too bad. Yeah, it weren't too bad. So yeah, 1986, Ibscott Close. The flat was nice, but shame about the people. We had a neighbour, nice neighbour. She used to help sometimes with baby Tony, Joe's brother, and yeah, she would help on that, do things and all that for Mum. So she was a nice neighbour. Yeah, she helped a lot. So 1986, Garftaylor telling the story of that year. Well, hope you enjoyed it. Another story will be coming soon. Take care, goodbye, Happy New Year.